Hello, welcome pen friends. Welcome to the March 2021 report card. It is currently March 30th, 2021 as I filmed this. So I've had a whole month practically to write with these pens. And there's been a lot of excitement that sort of diverted some of my attention to a couple of my new pens. But still, there's a lot of things that came up and I wanted to go ahead and do the report card. So the first pen that we talked about was the Platinum 3776 Nice with a broad nib and Diamine Aqua Lagoon. And that nib and ink get an A+. However, I did have a disappointment. I discovered a little pen crack. Let me show, or in the grip section. Let me just show you. Trying not to like freak out over it because, you know, whatever will be, but and I don't know whether I'll be able to show you. Let me see. It's going to be difficult. It's right in there, but I'm having trouble with focus. And it's about a 1/4 inch crack in the lighting there. Okay, as I turn it, it's just to the right of that beam of light. Anyway, it's a little crack right there. And it's hard to show, but I can see it. I wish I didn't know it was there. But anyway, it's not leaking or doing anything about the function of the pen, but it's just disappointing, that's all. But we will, you know, I will continue to learn and live and move on from that. I'm not sure what I'm going to do, if anything. There may not be anything I can do. I did not notice it until just a few days ago, and yeah, I've got to pursue whatever it is I can or can't do. So next was the TWSBI Eco in the Smoke and Rose Gold, the medium nib with Birmingham Slag Gray. Wow, that's an A+ combination. I just love it. I love the ink and I love the pen. Let's see, I've moved the pen into my little Nock Tallulah. And these two are just on the top, are not living in there. But anyway, this is the pen case I use with my daily journal. And I'm more than halfway through with the fill, but I'm going to keep on going in my Peter Popper Celestial notebook. Let's see. I have it right behind me if I can not knock everything over. In this notebook, whoops. And I'm just loving it on that paper. So it's just excellent. It's such a beautiful combination. And so, but it actually lives in this slot right here. So that has really, really been nice. And it is the new formula, which is cool because it's not like it's the old formula and I can't get it. I think you can. I'm not saying that as I'm, you know, proving it, but I think you can still get that. So then next up was the Pen BBS 352 with a 1.1 Anderson nib on it with Parker Quink Blue Black. Another A+, just excellent. And it's ready to be cleaned out. It's right here, and I've written a lot of pen pal letters with this. It's just a sweet combination. That ink flows really pretty. It doesn't overpower the nib. It's just perfect, really. And that was my first long writing sessions with a Parker Quink ink, so really, really exciting. I really enjoyed that. Almost sad to be cleaning it out, but it's time. So, okay, then next was the Faber-Castell Loom with the extra fine nib and Colorverse Laurel. And I really, really like it. I just didn't write with it as much because it's got that extra fine nib on it. So I wrote down the nib is still too fine for me. Well, it is, depending on where I'm writing. So because I was writing more letters, pen pal letters this month, and journaling too, but generally end up in a medium for journaling. It's such a good combination, and it wrote really well. It's not the pen, the nib, or the ink that puts it, you know, just wanting to swap out that nib for a broad nib. So, but I still gave it a B+ because it just isn't fair to ding it for my own nib preferences. So then next was the Parker Vector, this cute little pen, which also is now kind of permanently ensconced in the Nock Tallulah. I'm using this to add, not to edit, but to add red highlights in my journal where I really want to notice something or find it quickly. And I've used more than half of the little ink cartridge, and it's just a really sweet little pen. It's real lightweight, and the section is small, but I'm not writing long sessions with it. I'm adding in text and little note-taking and things like that. And it fits in here with my little pencil, which is like, that just adds to it. So I gave that an A. Yeah, you know, medium nib, probably with a different ink color even, it would have bumped it up, because there's nothing at all wrong with this. It's really fun to write with. And I know I'll be using that more and more. And it was my very first Parker. And I've got my eye on another one right now that I just watched a review on that I saw that was available on Amazon. So, but I'm not pen buying right now. I've already done that. So then next was the Wingsung 3008 with a 1.1 Lamy nib and Lavender Amethyst. It's just a beautiful, beautiful color. It actually came out really nice in writing in Tomoe River paper 52 GSM for letters. But other places I felt like it was bleeding through. It did seep through right here, not too bad. And this is 68 GSM Tomoe River paper, and you expect ghosting, but it had a little seepage. It was pretty out the gate ink-wise, but it's so gorgeous, and it didn't really bother me when I was writing on one side. And you know what's interesting is this, I wonder, because I don't remember this being a big problem writing letters. So either I was writing on one side, which I don't often do. I usually do use both sides. But I definitely gave it an A. And what I'm thinking is that this Lamy nib on a Lamy Vista or Safari wouldn't be quite as... this feed is gushy. It just is. And I love that. And it helps a lot with a fine nib. But with the broader nib with such a wet ink, I'm not so sure. Let's see, we'll put that in. I got this little box of pens I need to clean. So, you know, I'm going to be very, very busy next couple of days. So then next was the Lamy Vista, sorry, with Sailor Manyo Yukakusa from an ink flight. And I just absolutely loved it. It's gorgeous. I gave it an A+, and the ink sample's empty. This is it. It's gone, but I have a really good memory of it. Used it in many, many letters this month. So, gosh, it's going to be impossible to pick a favorite out of all these, I think. I'll try at the end, but whew, it's going to be hard. So next was the Lamy, let's see, that's still in the pen case here. Lamy next with a broad nib and Birmingham boiler steam with the new formula. And I gave it an A+. Excellent writer. This is a really super comfortable pen. And with the broad Lamy nib on it, it was just great for letter writing. Now, I was playing around a lot with these two colors, with lime green and with pink and some other bright pinks. So I didn't give this the attention that I would have, but I still used it a lot in multiple page pen letters. I usually write like A5 size, and on one side of a sheet I'll use one color. So I did get a lot of chance to write with it, and I loved it. Let's see, that's not ready to be cleaned out just yet though. Okay, so then next was the Lamy All-Star with a Lamy fine nib. It's a black fine nib. Whoops, there's a fine piece of cat hair on it too. I tell you, that can be a real problem. This is in the vibrant pink with Noodler's Matahari's Cordial. Now, this is a really permanent kind of ink, and it's beautiful, and I really enjoyed it. I didn't use up the sample. Let's see. Still got some sample left, but you can't really see where it goes to because it's quite saturated. So let's see, how did I do with the... I want to say I finished it, but there's just a little bit rolling around in there. And I think I had it to be cleaned out. I do want to make real good pen maintenance with this ink. And so that I gave it an A. I enjoyed it a lot. I want to say I started out with a broad nib, but I guess I didn't. I knew that was going to be enough, the fine nib, to showcase the ink. So there we have it. And then, so that was my original ones, and then I ended up inking up the Lamy Safari in the Terra with Robert Oster Burned Orange. So we have an extra, and I gave that an A+. That's just a great pen and ink combination. I just absolutely love it. It's nice to have, I think total now 3 Lamy broad nibs too, so that's wonderful. And then on the side, okay, I got a little carried away this month. I admit it. I try to avoid this, but I didn't this time. I put down here, I re-inked the Opus 88 Koloro, and then I did that review. So those of you who've been watching have heard enough probably about this, but I did put on the broad TWSBI Mini nib unit, and it started out with an A with the medium nib, but I definitely give it an A+ when I got the other nib on it. So definitely A+. It's the broad nib really bumped it up in my opinion, but I just love the pen, and the pen and ink combination is to me perfect. That Canyon Rust is just amazing for it. So that was what I wanted to show you, and then I want to go on over on the other side and go face to face and talk about kind of my plans for April, which are still formulating in my mind, and there's only one more day of March left, so I got to get it in gear. So maybe when I talk to you, I'll figure out even more, you know, refine what I plan to do, because it's going to be 30 inks, 30 days, and I also already have like okay, this one was from this month, and this one. So I've already got 4 pens in my pen case. Whoops, you can't really see it. So, you know, I can probably, that's what I need to do, is just make up my mind as to whether I ink 4 more and stay with those 4, because I don't want to overwhelm. But that's what I wanted to go to the desk for. So I will see you on the other side. There, so that's the report card for March 2021, and it's really hard to choose a favorite out of those, because there's different, like there's my favorite ink, there's how it was going, like for instance, until I noticed the little crack in the Platinum 3776, that was my favorite, and then I got a little down about that because I thought, wow, I haven't owned the pen very long, but well, you know, I'll have to take that a step at a time. That's high on my priority to see, you know, what the warranty covers or doesn't cover or whatever. And then, of course, I was really into that green ink, the Sailor ink that I had in the Lamy Vista. It was gorgeous, you know. And then the journaling one, the Birmingham Slag Gray and the TWSBI Eco is just fantastic. It's super smooth. It's not bleeding through that Peter Popper paper, say that fast. You know, it's doing super well in there. It's nice and flowy, and I just love it. It doesn't bleed through, so. And nice and dark, but doesn't really look black to me. It still looks gray. So there's just a lot of good, fun things going on. And then, of course, it was the month of the Opus 88 because I revisited the Koloro again and kind of got that, you know, the feeling of how that would be with the broad nib unit, and that's fun. That's super fun. And then of course, the big excitement of purchasing the Opus Omar, the Opus 88 Omar. So I've kind of had a lot of pen excitement during March. So it's going to be all about ink in April. And right now, as we speak, I'm trying to decide whether to just go ahead and shift into neutral with what I already have inked up. You know, I've got at least four that won't be cleaned out over the next couple of days. And I could go right into April with those, or I could go ahead and add a couple pens, or I could just wait, because as I start testing inks, it's going to happen inevitably that, you know, something that I'm trying out, because every day I'm going to do a new ink in that same Lamy Vista that needs to be cleaned out. And that happens to me, like, especially since I have 3 mil and over in each one of those samples. So I know that I could, you know, be tempted to ink up a pen with them. So I'm just trying to make up my mind, and I've been spending so much time at home. I think my brain may be fried, you know. We're getting out, but you know what I'm talking about. It's the same kind of pattern of waiting, kind of waiting. So we've, Manuel's fully vaccinated, and I have one more to go, and yeah, so it's a lot of time at home and a lot of trying to make up my own fun or whatever. So it has really been a lot of fun. So that's kind of what I've narrowed it down to. You know, just kind of shifting into April, which is coming really fast. One more day of March, and seeing how it goes. I think that's what I'm gonna do. So, but you'll know because you'll either see a video, Chris's Inked Pans, or not. But I do like to do that. I like to stay focused. I like to get my my ink journal ready. So I probably will do one, even if I stick with the 4 here and make predictions about what I'm gonna end up, you know, trying out. So I've got all my 30 inks ready, and I did that video, and I'll link that at the end so that I don't know what they call that, the end screen or whatever, so you can see that if you haven't already. And I'm excited about it because I like the focus to be on ink. I've been just really having a lot of fun with the new pens too, but it's just really fun to me to find new pretty inks and compare the inks that I have with the ones that that I still haven't tried out. And I'm looking at these. A couple of these I've splashed around with. It's going to be a fun month. And some of them I haven't done hardly anything with. Well, like Krishna Winter, I have. I've kind of, I've been a gate crasher or whatever you want to call it with that one. And then Colorverse Coffee I haven't touched yet. So there's, well, Colorverse Laurel I had in an extra fine, but now we're going to see it in a broad. So it's exciting and I'm looking forward to it. And I hope you are too. I've heard from several of you that you're going to try 30 inks 30 days. And I love to see how different people go about it. Sometimes people will, I've got a fly in here. That's what you get when you're letting indoor-outdoor cats in and out. Oh my goodness, Willie has been wanting to come in and out a lot lately. And now I just interrupted my train of thought. I'd like to see, you know, some people use a different pen each day and, you know, to try out the different ink each day. And some do it kind of the way I do, where I'm focusing on one pen, and I may shift out of for the 2 shimmer inks that are by Ancient Charm that I don't know anything about the brand yet. I'll probably shift into a different pen because I don't want shimmer left over, and I've got to be more careful, you know. And it does happen pretty quick that you have to be ready for the next day. So I think that's all that I was gonna say at the end here, but. I thought I better separate the report card in case things get a little weird for Chris's Inked Pens for April. And I'm sure that back in the old days, I'd have 30 pens inked up. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that now I really do try to narrow my focus down. And I start with 8 or 9 like I did this time. And then inevitably it kind of shifts. And this time it really shifted because I just could not hold off on that yellow Opus Omar. Opus 88. I don't know why I want to leave the number off. I just had to get in there and ink it up. I couldn't help myself. So I think that's all for now. And I'll be coming back soon. And I hope that you're getting ready for Easter and for April and everything that's coming next. And hopefully we'll be able to forge through this this period of time and this pandemic and get to a point where we can do more of the things we want to do. I can already kind of see it, but not quite there yet. So I'm just very, very hopeful and trying to keep myself entertained until then. So I will see you next time, and thank you very much for watching. Bye for now.